evening, everyone. I am Dr. Mahima Bakshi, founder, owner, Birthing Naturally. I'm also an author of Birthing Naturally, which is a book to promote awareness on natural birthing in India and pregnancy wellness, and also author of Empowering You Beyond Birthing, which is a book on postpartum care and equal parenting. Like the previous panel was also talking about gender equality. So I strongly believe that in today's time, when we want women to be empowered, we want women to pursue their dreams, to be financially independent, to pursue their education, it is important for us to encourage men to be an equal support to them. When we talk about women at workplace, I feel that even in today's time, there are some organizations who still don't give the rights to the women that they deserve. If we look at what government policies are, we have progressed a lot in last 10 years. But if we look at the implementation in still some private companies, I feel there is a lag. And that's how such opportunities or platforms can help us to sensitize people, sensitize organizations to ensure that they give an environment which is women-friendly. Women-friendly in terms of letting them plan their motherhood at the right age. So being a maternal child wellness consultant, I feel that we want women to plan their pregnancy at the right age. Nowadays we hear that the pregnancies are getting delayed because of which the rate of IVF is increasing. But what is actually the main reason? So I spoke to a lot of mothers and there would be a lot of moms who would come and talk to me and share their personal experience and what they're going through. So I felt that there are a lot of challenges which mothers face at their workplace. Now, what are these challenges? I want to go in a full sequence so that we can help them to overcome these challenges and give an environment which is friendly for mothers. So the first thing I think is when we say that mothers are planning their pregnancy at a very later age, first is that the society thinks that they are giving preference to their career, because of which they choose their career over parenthood. But if the work environment is so friendly enough for them to have the plan for parenthood at the right age, and they know that they're going to get that full support from the organization, it'll become much easier for them to plan their pregnancy at a sooner age. So what are those things that we can do to help them? I think first of all is when a woman starts her pregnancy, when she conceives, she might have a lot of nausea, vomiting in the first trimester, because of which maybe she would want to report a little late to office or leave a little early from office, or might need a little flexibility maybe once in a while for work from home. Yes, big corporates are giving all that, but when we look at smaller workplaces or smaller organizations, or even for that matter, a lot of startups in today's time, they're unable to do that because they already have less manpower, which becomes difficult. And I think that that is where the struggle or the challenge begins in the journey of motherhood. Secondly, when an expecting mom has to go for her doctor consultations, she has to go for her scans. Every time, of course, it's expected that the woman's body is going through pregnancy, and hence for her to go to the gynecologist, she is the one who has to go. But if her partner is able to accompany her, if the husband can come along, that's where we start treating the baby also with gender equality. That's where we see equality in the literal sense, where even the husbands are coming along to go to the gynecologist. Not only the woman, because the woman is pregnant, but of course nowadays it's we are pregnant. So sometimes there are lots of bosses who still have that approach where they think that tumko jane ka kya zarurat hai? She has to go to the gynecologist, so you don't have to take a chutti, or you don't have to leave early from office. So I think that needs to change still in a lot of male bosses and a lot of workplaces. Then when the pregnancy proceeds, I have seen so many working pregnant women coming to me and telling me that my male boss's attitude has started changing towards me because he knows I'm going to go on a maternity leave. That's the most difficult part for a pregnant woman, because she's been an ambitious working woman, and suddenly she sees her boss changing his attitude towards her, because he knows she's anyways going to go on a 6 months leave. So whoever is going to take over her work in her absence maybe can start doing that before she goes on the leave. And that becomes the biggest challenge for a working woman because she starts feeling that she's facing discrimination at workplace. And trust me, I've seen so many women going through prenatal depression or prenatal anxiety because of this reason, which, if there's too much of stress level in a pregnant woman's body, can also lead to a premature delivery, a preterm labor. So it can actually, directly or indirectly affect her pregnancy as well. So supporting the mental health of a pregnant woman at workplace by making sure that she doesn't feel there's any discrimination, she's getting the right kind of support. People are there at her workplace to ask her if she's okay, she's fine, does she need any help. That kind of an environment will really help her to be able to enjoy her pregnancy, at the same time to be able to enjoy working, to continue working. No pregnant woman wants to sit at home. They all want to work till the last day. But it's about that comfort, whether they can get that comfort at workplace or not. Unfortunately, in today's time, we also see a high-risk pregnancy rate increasing. There are lots of women who have precious pregnancies or high-risk pregnancies, because of which sometimes the gynecologist might advise them to stay at home, to do bed rest, to not travel, to not take stress, to probably not go to work. Then again, it becomes a challenge. Is there any policy in any organization for such women, for any high-risk pregnancy? Unfortunately, I don't think any organization in our country would have a policy like that. So maybe we need to make a policy for high-risk pregnancy. For women who are advised complete bed rest, can we give them the flexibility of work from home so that they don't have to discontinue their work and they can still manage to continue their pregnancy? When they have to plan the delivery, that's where the whole question mark in the mind starts. Okay, what is my maternity policy? Am I getting 6 months paid maternity leave or not? Again, there are big corporates who are giving it. Government is giving it. But unfortunately, still, there are smaller organizations or there are startups who are already having a lack of manpower, because of which they don't give 6 months paid maternity leave. However, it's their right, because even the government says that you can take a 6 months paid maternity leave. And it's so sad to see, I can't take names, but I have actually seen even a lot of schools and hospitals where we have a lot of women in the workplace and they are only getting 3 months paid maternity leave, after which they are asked to come back to office, which is really sad. So I feel that we need to sensitize those people so that probably those organizations can also try to change the policy and give what the women deserve. Similarly, paternity leave. Yes, some big corporates give it, but there are still so many companies who don't give paternity leaves. They don't believe in paternity leaves. So the government easily gives 14 days paid paternity leave, but there are companies who don't give. How are we going to talk about gender equality if a woman is going for her delivery and we can't even give paternity leave to the partner because we feel that it's the woman who has to take care of the baby, not the man? So if we are talking about gender equality and inclusivity here, I think it's important for us to raise these kind of points as well, that when women have to go through motherhood, it's important for even the father to be there with her, wherein he can share the responsibilities, learn more about how he can include himself in gender equality and convey the same or pass on the same vibrations and the same energy even to the baby when the baby is born, so that the environment in which the baby is coming into the home believes in the literal sense in gender equality. Even when women come back to work after their maternity leave, unfortunately, there are still companies who don't have feeding rooms, or for that matter, pumping rooms. We advise women that you have to continue breastfeeding because it's good for the baby. It's good for you. It reduces the chance of breast cancer, uterine cancer. But when a working mom has to get back to office, do you know how much of guilt she goes through, or postpartum depression that she goes through? Because she knows that I might not be able to continue breastfeeding because of this reason. Because when I go to my office, I don't have a proper room where I can go and express milk for my baby or preserve my milk for my baby. Because when I come back home, how and where do I preserve that milk and bring it back home for my baby? And I have literally seen mothers crying over it, that even though I want to, but I cannot. So if organizations could create rooms wherein a mother can peacefully sit and use a breast pump and express her milk so that she can bring it back home to give it to her baby, it would make a huge difference. And even for daycare facilities, some big organizations, I have seen them having daycare facility within the campus. I would like to take a name here. I had visited the campus of HCL. And I saw a beautiful building which was not only 1 floor, but 3 floors dedicated only for a crèche facility for the working moms, that when they come back to office, they can bring their babies along and put the baby in the daycare center, go to the office, and in between also, if they want to come, feed the baby, they can always do that. So if more and more organizations could do this, it would make it so much easier for mothers to manage their work life and at the same time manage their parenthood. And I think that, it becomes a responsibility, a social responsibility, to make sure that we are able to support their mental health. In today's time, we understand more probably, as compared to 10 years back, how important mental health is. But when that mother, she has to take care of her baby, her pregnancy, office, listen to the boss, not being able to meet deadlines, and then, maybe coming back home and remembering what the boss said in office, I think it becomes even more important for us to keep telling her that, no, you're doing fine, you're okay. Don't feel bad, you'll be able to do it better. So that constant encouragement as a social responsibility, even from workplace, if a new mother or a pregnant woman can get on a daily basis, on a regular basis, would make it much easier to be able to manage her baby and her work. And also, if we look at the rate of single moms, single dads, because the divorce rates are going up so high, that trust me, I have personally seen women coming for the delivery in the hospital and telling me that we are separated. There are couples who are not even waiting for the baby to be born and taking decision to get separated. So if we look at the divorce rates, have really gone up very high, drastically in last 5 to 10 years. And that's where the challenge comes, where these women have to be independent financially, have to be working because they have to raise their child. And for single moms, what is the environment at office, at workplace that we can create to give her that continuous support so that she can manage her baby, her home, and her office? So I think maybe some special policies that individual organizations can make to help women, to help women plan their pregnancy at the right time, in the right way, because if the work environment is friendly enough towards mothers in such a way, it would actually become easier for women to plan their pregnancy at an earlier age rather than delaying their pregnancy because they want to choose their career or they want to choose to be financially independent. They want to grow in their career. So if we can give a workplace environment which is supportive towards them, it'll become easier for them to plan a pregnancy at an earlier age rather than later on going for IVF. So thank you so much for listening, and I hope I was able to convey my message in the right way to all of you. Thank you a lot.